This week on Toys of the Jedi, CNET reveals new Resistance figures. At New York Comic Con, Hasbro have their Deskside Event. There's also the live stream and a separate Hasbro panel. Hi, I'm Chris Cook, your host for Toys of the Jedi. Now you may have forgotten that because we've actually been away for a little while. That's because, as I have mentioned on the Instagram post and the Twitter and what have you, that we've been having some renovations done here at home. Thankfully all that has finished. We've still got little bits and pieces here to do here and there, but the bulk of the work is done, so we're back to doing some videos. Now in this video we're just going to be covering the stuff that was released at New York Comic Con and what happened just beforehand. There was plenty of other stuff that's happened previous to that, but like I say, we're only going to cover the stuff that's happened this weekend. The new Star Wars animation Resistance debuted this weekend, and to accompany the series, Hasbro have released some figures to go with it. Now these aren't on shelves yet, but the images are available. Now I particularly like the Toradoza figure and also the Jaeger and Buckets set. They look like two quite nice character designs. Not quite sure if they're Star Warsy as such yet, but I'm going to do this crazy thing, wait for the series to actually be fully out there, get a bit of a feel for it before I judge it. Now these are some quite bright, vibrant colours that you're getting from these series, but again this is also a racing sort of series, and again you get those sort of colours with the typical racing stuff. It's also aimed for kids. I'm not the target audience here, but as you can see, these are still quite nice figures that are made available. So the other characters in the line are Kaz Ziono, Major Von Reg, Poe Dameron and BB-8 as a 2-pack. There's a Jaeger and Bucket, which I've mentioned before, a First Order Stormtrooper. There's Commander Pyre, who's the gold-looking Stormtrooper, Sinara San, and like I said, there's also the Toradoza figure. No news yet as to whether there will be any further waves of these figures. This is just the very first information we're getting, but I imagine if the series does well, then we'll probably get some more after this. Now, just before New York Comic Con kicked off in full swing, Hasbro also held what they called a Deskside Event, which was not quite in New York. It's a little bit further away, but they did reveal some new bits and pieces for us collectors to get excited about. Now, starting with the Black Series, they did reveal a 6-inch General Kenobi from the Tartakovsky Clone Wars series. This is the original Obi-Wan Kenobi from the Episode 3 head sculpt, but put onto a clone's body. There's a couple of other tweaks on the armour as well. It's a very nice figure. I'm very much looking forward to seeing this one. Now, Obi-Wan Kenobi will be a Walgreens exclusive, so no news yet again as to how that will be made available in the UK, but check your usual places, Forbidden Planet, Darkside Toys. They'd hopefully have some coming into stock. Now, they also had some of the existing figures that have been announced already, like the Lando Calrissian Skiff Guard outfit, all on display, but the other new big reveal there was the General Grievous 6-inch figure. This is one that fans have been hammering at Hasbro for a little while now, and to all intents and purposes he looks fantastic. He's got 4 arms to begin with, but these can be clipped together so that you can just display him with the 2 arms if you like. Plenty of pockets for all those lightsabers that he likes to collect, and he does indeed come with 4 lightsabers, 2 blue, 2 green. Now, Hasbro also announced that this will be a new price point for their Black Series line. This is going to be at $29.99, so slightly different to their usual, what they aim for, about $19.99 to $24.99, depending on where you pick them up. Again, not quite sure how that'll translate when it comes across the pond here, but it's still a very nice figure, and I imagine it'll be worth the little bit extra that we're going to have to fork out for him. Now, Hasbro had also announced previously that they were releasing an archive line, which was getting some of the older sculpts back out in circulation. Now, they started off announcing that they were going to do Boba Fett, Bosk, IG-88 and the Luke Skywalker X-Wing pilot. Now, at the Deskside breakfast, they also announced that they would be doing the Anakin Skywalker from Episode 3, again with the 2 different heads. The Black Series Yoda, again the little 6-inch version, and also the Biker Scout Trooper. Now, Anakin and Yoda will have the face printing deco, which they didn't have before, so these actually should look like much better figures this time around. The Biker Scout is just a re-release, doesn't come with the bike this time. For me, that helmet isn't quite right, so I'm hoping at some point they will revisit that figure and retool that head. It just doesn't quite work for me, I'm afraid. But it is a good chance for collectors that are fairly new to the Black Series to get some of these harder to find figures that are going for stupid money on the secondary market. Hasbro then turned their attention to the vintage collection, and they did have on display one of the very early prototypes of the sail barge that is due to be out in February. Now, I know James from Jedi News did ask the question, when's the announcement going to come for this to be happening in Europe? Still no word on that, so we've got to wait a bit longer, but they did say as soon as there is any news they will let us know. It will happen. They also revealed that they are going to be looking at some more characters to populate the barge, not just the ones that have been announced already, you know, the Yak Face and Klaatu, but they are looking at some of the other characters that will go along with it. They did announce that they are going to be doing a re-release of the Gamorrean Guard from the first run of the vintage collection. It's a beautiful figure. It is one of, if not my absolute favourite figure from the modern line, and they are going to be re-releasing him in the vintage packaging. Now, my understanding is the front of the card is going to be exactly the same. It's going to have the same vintage collection number, but the back of the card will probably look a bit different because of what other figures are available in the wave and the legal bits and pieces that go behind that. But they haven't shown the card yet. We've just got to wait and see what that looks like. Next were carded samples of the new vintage collection characters that we're getting. Now, Princess Leia and her boost disguise had already been revealed as somebody that we were getting. It is a re-release and a repaint of the one that we got in the Black Series, but this one's going to be coming with the face printing technology, so she does look a million times better. I was only going to pick one up carded, but having seen the new face printing technology on this one, she does look fantastic. I may have to get one to open as well. Now, the card on this one, they've actually looked at the original Kenner version of this figure, and the helmet is placed above the figure as it was back in 1983. This is a lovely card, well worth picking up. Now, after that, they revealed the Yak Face carded figure. Now, as you may or may not be aware, there is a Power of the Force version coming with Jabba's sail barge, and that will have the coin that goes with it. It'll be an exact replica of the card that, again, was released in 1985 by Kenner. This one is slightly different for the mainline release. The name pill, as they call it, is placed just to the side of the character, and rather than directly above, which they normally would do, but it still looks absolutely fantastic, and again, one I am definitely going to be picking up. After that, they reveal what the cards would look like for the Klaatu in Skiff Guard. Again, they highlighted that the original version that they had to do quite a bit of airbrushing work to the image above the figure, because it was just a publicity shot from one of the guys on set, Corey D. Williams, who I'm sure is very much looking forward to this figure. And yeah, a lovely card. I'll be getting one to open, one to keep carded as well. These are beautiful. And finally, they also revealed the Scarif Stormtrooper or Shore Trooper, depending on how you go with it. This is the standard trooper. Again, they've had to mock up the card with a publicity image photoshopped onto a nice Scarif background, because if you actually break down Rogue One, there aren't that many shots, good shots, with a clear picture of a Scarif Stormtrooper on them. But again, it's a lovely card. This was a very difficult one for people to get hold of when it first came out in the Black Series, so definitely a worthwhile re-release, and one I'll be picking up. Now, Hasbro have been incredibly busy this New York Comic Con. After the Deskside event, they then went and did a live panel which was streamed on SyFy.com, where they actually sat up on stage and chatted to a couple of the hosts about some of the new reveals and also some of the existing stuff within the Star Wars line. Now, they first of all went over the Imperial hover tank and how that was made, a little bit of information behind the scenes. It initially starts out as a foam core model before they work it all up into a fully finalised toy. Following this, they also went on to show us what the packaging for the new archive line. On stage, they actually had the Boba Fett, Bosk and IG-88 figures, and the packaging, I must say, does look very nice. It also means that those who've got the original version in that black and orange or the black and blue packaging will still have something special that is just special to them. But it also gives new collectors a chance to actually get some of these other figures that are a little bit harder to find. Now, while they were up on stage, Hasbro also took the opportunity to announce 2 new vintage collection figures. The one that impressed me the most was the Han Solo in Stormtrooper disguise. It's a brand new head sculpt, new torso, new arms, I think they were saying. So the legs down are an existing mould, but they are using, again with this one, the face printing technology, so Han Solo does look absolutely fantastic. The other figure that they revealed was a 41st Clone Trooper. Again, this was one that they haven't quite nailed previously. They've had 2 goes at actually getting this figure right, neither one quite spot on, but this one seems to be the case. They have absolutely nailed. They've got the belt right, they've got the shins right, and they've got the shoulder markings right as well. So we'll have to see what actually comes out, but so far so good. So it looks like Entertainment Earth have come to the rescue of Star Wars collectors, as the vintage collection Rey Island Journey, that was supposed to be a Walmart exclusive but really didn't show up at all, is going to be offered for pre-order by Entertainment Earth. They've also picked up the red Resistance A-Wing, which is a repaint of the blue one from the main line. Again, this was meant to be a Walmart exclusive, so they've picked up those 2, and they've also picked up the R2-D2 and C-3PO in the Solo packaging with the Force Link enabled technology. So if you're after any of those, do head on over to Entertainment Earth, get your pre-order in nice and early, don't miss out. Now on to the big Sunday panel. Before we start, I would like to say a massive thank you to FanthaTracks.com, Jedibusiness.com and JediNews.co.uk for the fantastic coverage that they provided at the event. Without them, I'd be nowhere. I'd have no idea what was going on. So a massive thank you to you guys. Please go and check out their coverage in the links below. They will have all the footage, all the actual photos from the event themselves. Well worth having a look. Now, the first thing that the guys on the Hasbro team talked about was the Microforce line. Now, this might not be everybody's cup of tea, but it's a nice little treat, this one. It's actually an advent calendar, and you can see the main product image up on the screen. But if you don't want to know what the little behind the doors characters are, please look away now. Following the Microforce stuff, they did go on to discuss the Black Series. First up was the items that they discussed at the Deskside event previously, so all the archive stuff, the General Kenobi and the General Grievous, before moving on to some new reveals. Obviously she proved very popular in the fans poll for the vintage collection, so Dr. Aphra is also getting a 6-inch version released. Now this is a completely new sculpt. They haven't just upscaled the vintage collection version, so if you're a fan of the comic books, this is definitely one to hunt down. But she wouldn't be complete on her own, so they're also releasing the BT-1 and 000 droids to accompany her. Now these are all mainline releases, going to all be single packed, so they should be available in a store near you soon. Now, if you're not a Dr. Aphra fan, but you are into Star Wars Rebels, then there is a Rocket Trooper for you that's coming to GameStop. This is an exclusive figure. This is also the Commander variant, so it's got the orange pauldron, and it also comes with a brand new stand that you can basically put your figure's foot in it, and it works as a sort of a wedge to keep standing upright. Hasbro have asked you to let them know if this is actually going to work for you, if this is what you're looking for. Give them some feedback once you've actually tested this out, so do get in touch with them once you've actually got this figure in hand. You may recall at San Diego Comic-Con there was a massive A New Hope diorama that had the Millennium Falcon, the Death Star, some of the stuff on the Tantive 4, some of the stuff in the Death Valley with the Jawas and the Sand People, all that sort of stuff. But also in there was a trash compactor scene, and there was a Luke with slicked back hair and all dirty armour. Now, this is actually being released as another exclusive figure. Luke comes with the dirty armour, like I say, the slick back hair, and indeed this is going to be a Target exclusive. So another one for you to track down. To kick off their discussion about the vintage collection, Hasbro started with some information about the barge. Now, they've got some new behind the scenes photos, actual backers of the barge have been getting these sort of images on a fairly regular basis. There's been a couple of releases so far, but actually those at the panel on the Sunday night did get a sneak preview of the next set of images and video that's going to be coming out. Now, again, this is looking like it's going ahead full steam and is absolutely beautiful. Mark Boudreau has clearly put a lot of time and effort into this, and it's coming together very, very nicely. They also showed the new packaging art for the box and how they created that. It's based on the Ewoks village from the Kenner line, similar sort of style to that, so colour picture on the one side, black and white on the other, and again, as I'm sure you'll agree, this does indeed look very, very nice. Final packaging isn't quite there, but this is very, very nearly there. So let's look forward to seeing that when it finally comes out. So after discussing the card back images revealed at the Deskside event and the Han and new Clone Trooper that were revealed on the live panel the day before, they also then went on to reveal a couple of even newer figures. So we can look forward to a new Imperial hover tank, or assault tank, depending on how you want to say it, Commander. That's the one with the grey stripe across the top, so no need to customise the existing one that's just come out. We'll also be getting a Jedi Master Luke on crate, so that's the one from the end of The Last Jedi, or Luke at what you could have won, as I like to refer to him as. And but he does look absolutely fantastic as a figure. No sign of the packaging on these two, and these are due in spring 2019, so very much looking forward to those. Right, so Steve Evans said at the start of the year we are going to give you this plan, a bit of a map, so that we can see what figures are coming, give us a rough idea of when things are coming down the pike. Now, we know pretty much everything up to Wave 3, which is starting to hit its shelves in America. That's the Range Trooper wave, and some lovely figures in there indeed. Now, what's coming out in spring 2019, first wave that's estimated to be around January, is Saut Marie, or Yak Face, Scarif Stormtrooper, Princess Leia in her boosh disguise, and the Klaatu Skiff Guard. These take up numbers 132 through to 135. Then in February, when the barge comes out, there is the Yak Face with the Power of the Force figure. Then they're aiming to get Wave 2 out in April. This is going to be 138 to 142. The Elite Praetorian Guard, Lando Calrissian from the Solo, an Imperial Stormtrooper, that's the one on the Rogue One card, and a Captain Phasma on a Last Jedi card. And one missing there is number 141, which hasn't been announced yet. So there's a couple of retail exclusive. These are still numbered as well. A couple to be announced still, but Han Solo in the Stormtrooper gear is number 143, and the 41st Elite Corps Trooper is going to be number 145, and that Gamorrean Guard, which is a re-release, is still going to keep its number, that's number 21. A couple of convention exclusives still to be announced, and then Wave 3 due in July is that lovely Luke Skywalker on crate. That's number 146. 147 is the Death Star Gunner. Again, that's a Rogue One styled figure. 148 is the Assault Tank Commander with the grey stripe. 149 to be announced, and Darth Revan, who's making a return from the 30th anniversary collection, is going to be number 150. So, just like the Gamorrean Guard, Hasbro are also trying to get out some of the older figures from that first run of the vintage collection. These are the ones released back in 2010, and they're looking to get out Hoth, Princess Leia, Han Solo in his Echo base gear, that's the one with the open coat, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker in his Jedi Knight outfit, and of course you can't have any line without Boba Fett. Now again, these will keep their original numbering, and front of the cards I imagine will be the same. They might change them a bit, they might do it on the alternate card version, and on the backs of the cards there will also be a new card back. So Hasbro followed this up with a bit of a Q&A. One of the first questions asked was, is there going to be a Darth Jar Jar? Which got a lot of laughs, but they can't comment, but why not consider it? Next up, there was the question, why no New York Comic Con exclusive this year? They said it's definitely something they will think about for next time. Obviously, they are doing exclusives across the rest of the world and what have you. They're trying to look to make sure they get some exclusives to all the different cons, so it's definitely something I'll look at for next year. So next they were asked, would they be fixing the clone elbows on the Obi-Wan Kenobi in the clone armour? They said they weren't aware that this was a problem, but they will take it back and feed it back to the team. When asked if there were any new vehicles planned, they said yes, there are some planned, but they've got nothing to announce at present. And when asked about new Rebel pilots in the Black Series line, they said yes, it's a definite something that we can consider, but again, nothing to announce as yet. When asked if there were going to be any Imperial officers of the female persuasion, they said yes, it's definitely something we will consider. Again, still nothing to announce yet, but we could possibly be thinking of something like an Isane Isard, looking at a lot of the stuff from the comics and what have you, and Admiral Sloane is also a good potential possibility there. But again, like I say, nothing concrete on that as yet. Now, this was followed up by a question about the barge in Europe. Still nothing to announce yet, but as soon as they do know, they will let us know. And the plan is that when they do the next HasLab project, that whatever plans they have set up, they will make sure that is in place before they go live with it, so that they can make sure that rolls out to Europe nice and easy. The team were also asked about the Wave 4 of the Force Link Solo figures and when they were going to be coming to stores. The answer is apparently they should be there now or anytime soon. As far as the UK goes, we're still waiting for Wave 1. So yeah, take that with a pinch of salt, and hopefully we'll begin to see some of that stuff trickle through at a bit of a later date with any luck. They were also asked if there was any chance of figures from the Legends side of canon actually being released as figures. Now obviously we've seen that Darth Revan's going to be coming to the Vintage collection, so yeah, there is something that is a possibility. They said it's going to be a case of working with Lucasfilm and seeing what comes down the pipe from there. The final question asked was, will we know what all of the Vintage collection figures are by the end of the year? And it was a resounding no. Although they have got cons at London, and I think they've got one in Paris as well that they're going to go to, they won't necessarily announce all of the figures by that time. I'd still say tuned just in case they do release any tiny little bits of information at those events. And that's our show for this week. Just one more bit of news before we do go. Toys R Us's Twitter feed did announce that they are looking to come back into business. Now at the moment, please take this with a pinch of salt. They've only just gone into liquidation and bankruptcy and all that kind of stuff, so bear that in mind. But if this is true, absolutely fantastic news. It's a place to get those toys, get them back out into the market, and fingers crossed. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please click the like button down below, subscribe to the channel. You can also follow us on Instagram and Twitter, both at Toys of the Jedi. And we've actually been still doing our figure of the day posts. Did miss about a month and a bit while the house move was really going into full swing, but we are starting to catch up with those posts. So go over there. If you enjoy them, please again give those a like and follow us over there. Until next time.